to let you in for.
Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be a little bit different because I'm not going to be on screen for most of the time. It's going to be my whole collection video. So mostly I will just show you each of the products in my collection. I'll break them down into category of what they are, and I'll tell you a little bit about each one as I show you. A disclaimer that I do have is that because of what's happening right now in the world, I do have some makeup that I left across the country when I came over here back home, and so when I hit places where I'm missing a piece, I will try to remind you or tell you that that's why I don't have something. So if the numbers in this video don't explicitly match the numbers in the makeup inventory that's coming out in the next few days, don't match. I'm sorry, that's just because I forgot to tell you if I was missing something. And everything's true. I'm being 100% accurate. But other than that, let's get into this video, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so the first category is primers, and I only have this one Urban Decay Optical Illusion Primer. It's a complexion primer, but it does have rosehip and argan oil, so it is supposed to be like hydrating. It's not an illuminating primer, but I really enjoy this. And it's a nice primer in my collection. The next category is foundation. The only foundation I currently have is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation. I have it in fairly light neutral. And I do really like this foundation. I will not be purchasing it after, but it's something that I've used for years, and it was basically my only foundation for a really long time. And getting into other foundations, I have found that I really do like this one. But I'm excited to see what else there is in the world. The next category is my concealer, and I have a single concealer, and it is the Pacifica Beauty Full Coverage Liquid Cover Long Lasting Concealer in the shade 18WL. And I really do like this. This is like very close to my shade. I don't use it for lightening. I use it mostly for covering up blemishes. So that's what I use it for, and I do think it's pretty good coverage. You can't blend it out too much or it'll become sheer, but it definitely works for what I need it to work for, but I don't have extremely dark under eyes. So next is the face product category, starting with highlighters. So with highlighters, the first highlighter I have is the Tarte liquid highlighter. It's Tarteist, I think that's what it's called, and I've had this for years. I'm almost done with it, which is really exciting. It's not my favorite highlighter. I don't really love liquid highlighters, but I think this one specifically is not a very glow from within kind of highlight. It's very much like a blinding highlight, which I just think is very unforgiving, and it's not my favorite thing to deal with. But I have gotten used to using it more often, and I like it more now than I did when I first started using it. But definitely not a repurchase. The other liquid highlighter in my collection is the Manna Kadar Glow Highlighter Illuminator. I think this is probably the most beautiful highlight. I think Manna Kadar's highlighters are just, like, if you love highlighters and you haven't tried one of theirs, I think they have the most beautiful, effortless, glow from within, natural, but like absolutely blinding at the same time highlighters. I've had one of their powders, and this is their liquid, and I think this one is really nice. I think their powder was really nice. I'm a very big fan. The next highlighter is the Orglamix. It's like a cream highlighter in the shade Illume. I'm going to swatch it for you. I'm going to do a few swatches throughout this video. And because this one is hard to see, I'm going to swatch it. Yeah, I think it's very beautiful. It's a very wet highlight, and it's definitely something that I really enjoy. It isn't super long lasting, long wearing, but that's not the end of the world. The next highlighter is not really a highlighter. It is the Bare Minerals Luminizing Powder. And I mostly use it like an all-over face powder that's also like luminizing, but it's in the shade The Ready, which is like a pinky shade. And it does have a little bit of a pink cast. Like, I couldn't use it as a blush if I wanted to. Maybe a blush topper if I had like a really light blush. But it's really beautiful, and I really do like it. yeah, it's just a very like natural light glow. The last highlighter in my collection is this tiny little Elate sample. It's the Dew Pressed Cheek powder. And I really do not like this, unfortunately. I just think it's too glittery and not enough like actual glow. Like, to me, this is just like too much. Like, and I guess you can like blend it out, but I don't think it like looks super great blended out. I think it's fine. I've been using it. I think it's a really great like lid. I think it's a really great matte, like matte look topper if you want to make like a matte shadow glowy. It's really nice because it doesn't have too much of a cast, but it's definitely not my favorite highlight, and I probably will not be purchasing it from Elate again. The next category is my bronzer category. I have the Tarte Park Avenue Princess Waterproof Bronzer. This is the glowy one, not the matte one. You can't really tell. I think it's a very, very beautiful bronze. I think it works really nice on my skin tone specifically. But it's definitely like, it's buildable, but it's also a very light shade. I also have, not with me, the Tarte Creaseless Concealer in a too dark shade for me, which I use as a cream bronzer. It's not my favorite, but that is something that I have and I have used. The next category is blush. So I have the Elate Cosmetics blush. The cool thing about Elate is that it's refillable, and then I only have to get the refill and it'll fit into this bamboo compact. So this is the shade Brave, which is this nice cool tone, kind of darker color, but maybe in the winter when my skin starts to get paler, I can go get like a lighter color and just put it in this same compact, and that'll be really nice. I unfortunately can't show you it fully because it's a little bit shattered. But it is a very, very beautiful color. I will swatch it for you. So this is it swatched. It's definitely like a cooler toned shade. I think it's absolutely beautiful though. It's more of a satin finish. It's not really matte, but it's not really like it doesn't have glowy diamonds in it. But I think it's more of a satin finish. The next category is face palettes. So this is my Pacifica Beauty Radiance Powders face palette. It comes with this blush topper, rose gold shimmer, this highlight, this is the glimmer shimmer, this contour, I wouldn't really consider it a bronzer, it's desert matte, and this blush, sunset matte. I think the colors in this are beautiful. The thing I like the least in this is probably the contour, but that's just because I don't use contour very often, and I just don't think this works super well as a bronzer. Maybe it's because I like glowier bronzers. And then I was very disappointed by the fact that the Sunset Matte, I think you can tell just looking at it, like the sides are very cracked, and that's because most of my product was lost because this kept crumbling. And so I don't know if it wasn't packed tightly enough. I know other people have had similar issues with the blush in this palette. But I love this highlighter, I love this blush topper, and I really do love this blush if it wasn't so crumbly. And so overall I really, really do like this palette. I even like this, I just don't contour very often. So the next category, just to finish off the faces, is my finishing powder, and this is the Pacifica Beauty Naturalizing Mineral Mattifier. I think this is such cute packaging. It's completely zero waste because it's not completely zero waste, but it's completely recyclable. It's paper recyclable, metal recyclable for the pan, and then this plastic is technically recyclable. I doubt it'll actually get recycled, but it's unfortunate. The same can be said about this packaging, by the way. I think it's super cute. That has this little thing that says "You are so pretty" on it. Sorry, I can't get it to focus. I will say I've only used this powder for like a few months, and I already have such a huge amount of pan in it. I don't think it has so much product, or maybe it's because it's so crumbly that it just like the product doesn't take very long. But I really do like it. I have it in shade 1, which is the paler shade. It comes in 2 shades. Not the best, but it is a drugstore / indie brand, so not wholly surprising. And then the last thing for finishing the face is the Pixie Beauty Glow Mist. Everybody has talked about this. I absolutely love it. I sometimes use it to set my face. I sometimes use it to finish my face. I sometimes use it for both. I just think it's really, really nice. I'm almost done with it, and I will be repurchasing it. I'm a big fan. It's very hydrating. It's very luminizing. Okay, so the next category is my palettes. I'm going to do them in age order, and I will have another video coming out where I do talk about my palettes more specifically and in depth and swatch them and rank them coming out, but this will just be a smaller one. So my first palette, which is my oldest palette, is my Maybelline Designer Chocolate Palette in the shade 40Q. It has a base, a crease, a lid shade, I think this is the crease, a base, a lid shade, a crease, and a liner. I absolutely love the lid shade. I absolutely love the crease. I think they're both really, really beautiful colors. And then the liner and the base are perfectly fine in terms of quality. They're just like really basic colors, and so nothing super exciting to say about them. The entire palette is supposed to be like shimmery, satiny, and so everything is sparkly, which really works well for like the base. I like a sparkly base. But I'm not super excited about like the liner being sparkly, because to me that makes it more like a bronzer. Honestly, I probably could use this as like a contour. The next oldest palette in my collection is the e.l.f. Nude Rose Gold palette, and this is a 5-pan palette. I picked this up at an Old Navy years ago. I absolutely love it. I think it's a beautiful palette. I think it's like the perfect, you can wear it every day, and there are some like fun colors. Like I think these are pretty fun. It does have like the sparkly black that I know everybody hates, and I hate it too, don't get me wrong, but it does have a kind of purple shift, if you can tell that, and so I think it is a more interesting version of that, but I do think every color in this palette is really, really beautiful, and I think this is a really great palette. My next oldest palette is the first more expensive palette, not drugstore palette, that I ever got, and it is the Naked Urban Decay Cherry. It was a Christmas present 2 years ago. It is also my Pan That palette for the year, which is why it looks so well loved and used. I really do love this palette. These two shades are both like base shades. And I think this has a big complaint for this palette is that you can't come up with a ton of looks for it, but I think that I've created so many really fun looks, and I get so creative with this palette, so I'm really, really grateful that I was able to play around with this palette, and that I'm going to get to keep playing around with this palette until I finish it off. So yeah, I really, really love it. The next oldest collection of my palette, I got this Christmas decluttered to me from my mother. It is the Elizabeth Arden 16 shade palette. I think she got it like for free or for like a few dollars with some other stuff she was getting from Elizabeth Arden. And so she just decided to get it. I think it's a really, really pretty, very colorful palette. I have pan in this shade because it was in a project, but I'm very close to getting pan in that light blue shade and in this green shade. So I'm really, really excited, and I do use this palette quite a bit because it is my most colorful palette and most interesting palette, but it's also not the best quality. Like this blue is like a super creamy shade, but this dark blue is very chunky, this was very chunky, this taupe is pretty like hard. It's not chunky, it's so much as it's just like not soft. This silver is like so soft. There's just not a lot of common traits throughout this palette, and for me that's like incredibly silly and annoying. So it's not my favorite palette, but I do like it, and I'm grateful to have a colorful palette. This last one is my newest one that I got actually for my birthday this year. It is the Aether Beauty palette. And their whole thing is zero waste. They talk about how they don't have magnets or mirrors in their collection because like those are things that can't be recycled. These shades are absolutely beautiful. Like there's not a single shade in this palette that I do not like. I like every single shade in this palette. This also has like the sparkly black, but I have honestly found that because it's such a creamy formula, it's perfect for doing like smoked out looks, and so I'm not even mad because it really fits in with everything else in this palette. I think it's so beautiful. It's a woman-owned company, and I'm just really, really glad that I was able to support it, and will continue to support it in the past because of what great quality the palette was. And they have some other stuff. They have a blush, they have some highlighters. Nothing I need right now, but things that I really do think are pretty. The next category is my single eyeshadows, and so I have 3 actual single eyeshadows and then one that I claim is a single eyeshadow. or I did, but I just hit pan in it, so I'm probably gonna stop. So this is a sample from Elite Cosmetics in the shade Lumen, which is really just like a white shade. But I have so many issues with this because I don't like using it as a base shade because it's not very good for like base. It looks silver, I will say, in the swatch, it looks silver. But then when I actually put it on my eye, it's not silver. I think that this, I'm just gonna have to use a few times as like a single eyeshadow just to get through it and finish it. But it's definitely not my favorite. This next single shadow is the L'Oreal Paris Eternal Black, and it's a sparkly black eyeshadow that I bought for a musical that I was in. I needed a sparkly black for my smoky eye look, and so I like bought this single shade when I was like with my friends buying my makeup for the show, and I used it a little bit for the show, as you can probably tell, and I have not used it again because, you know, why not? Because it's a sparkly black. Okay, so next is eyeliners, and so the first eyeliner I have is this Pencil Palladino eyeliner in black. I really do not like pencil eyeliners, and so I'm just kind of using this one up when I can, but for the most part I am not getting another pencil eyeliner. This other one is the Lights Out Glamour Dolls crayon eyeliner. I guess they say it's a gel eyeliner, but it performs exactly like a crayon eyeliner, so I don't really know what the difference is. In ultra black, I don't know what the difference between this one and black is, but I don't really like this one either, and I'm just going to use it up. It's really, the entire product is this tiny little tip, and so I don't really understand why it like looks like a pencil when it doesn't, like, you can't roll it up or anything, which is kind of silly to me. Like, that's just not a lot of product, you know? It's weird. And now the mascara category. I have two mascaras because I try to always have two mascaras in my collection. This is the open one. This is the BWC Full Volume Mascara. The head looks like, or the spoolie looks like this. It's definitely a bristle, but it's pretty thick, and I really, really like how it looks and the effect that it gives. So I'm a big fan of this mascara and this spoolie specifically. The other one I have is not open yet. It is the Pacifica Beauty Stellar Gaze Length and Strength Mineral Mascara with coconut oil and vitamin B. And this is because I always like to have two mascaras. I can show you what the packaging looks like. It's not zero waste or vegan or anything. I mean, it is vegan, but it's not zero waste, which I know Pacifica has like a lot of things that are zero waste, but this is just recyclable, and you can recycle it through their recycling program. But I haven't opened it yet, so I don't really know how it performs or what it looks like the spoolie, but yeah, this is the packaging. Next, we're going to move on to the biggest category I have in my collection, which is my lips, but we're going to try to break it into different subsections. So the first one is going to be bullet lips. I actually have 4 bullet lips. One, and my favorite is the Yavis Rocher bullet lip in what is it in? Magnolia, which is just this really, really pretty pink shade that I really, really like. The next one is this Clinique bullet lip in Beige Pop, which is also a really beautiful shade, but I don't think that this lasts for very long, and it's kind of broken, as you can kind of see. It kind of pushes against the edge of the container it's in. The next one is the Elizabeth Arden bullet lip in Rouge, which is bright red. It's beautiful, but I also never use it, which is why it looks like it's never been used. And the final one is a Chanel lipstick in Cielo. It's a beautiful metallic-y red-brown color, but it's actually dry. Like, it doesn't really work very well as a lipstick, so I think I might honestly, and you can tell that it's already been broken off of its base, and so I might break it and mix it with like coconut oil or Vaseline and make almost like a tinted balm with it. But yes, those are my bullet lips. The next category is, I guess I have one more thing that could be considered a bullet lip. This is a Lush Cosmetics Zero Waste lipstick. It looks like this. It comes off almost like purple. It is very, very interesting, but I guess it gives the same effect as a bullet lip. So I guess I'm going to incorporate it with them. The next category is lip balms. So I have the Noto multi-bene tint lip balm. It's just like a red lip balm, and you're supposed to be able to use it on your eyes, on your cheeks, on your lips. It's made with peppermint oil, and so it kind of has like a refreshing feeling, which also feels a lot like stinging, so I have mixed feelings about this product. The next one is my Clinique Chubby Stick sample in Fuller Fig. It's a really, really pretty color and a really, really pretty application, but it's just like not good right now, so I'm going to use it a lot more in the fall. And the last tinted lip balm, because I'm only showing you my tinted lip balms, is my Modern Minerals Makeup. It's just this. It doesn't really have a color name, and you can kind of see that it's sweating a little bit. It's not my favorite. I don't think it has like a great tint, and I don't love using my finger with stuff that has like a tint like this. I'd prefer to use like a brush, I guess. So I don't get a ton of use out of this, point of the story, but it's a beautiful color, so I'd love to use it more. The final lip category is my glosses. So I have 3 e.l.f. glosses that are just tiny little sample squeezy tubes that I'm sure came together in some sort of kit. They don't have names. This is just like a lighter bubblegum pink. This is more of a cool toned pink, and this is like a darker berry red. They're all sparkly. They're all really pretty. This is a Burt's Bees natural lip gloss in the shade Zesty Red, which I would consider roughly the same as this e.l.f. lip gloss. I don't love the consistency of this, but it also is a pretty old product, and so that might be why it's so liquidy, but also like cracked at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense, but it kind of gives off water at the same time as like feeling very dry on the skin. And then I also have 2 Wet n Wild Mega Slick lip balms. One is in a bubblegum pink, and one is in a darker berry color in the shade Bronze Berry, and this is in the shade Sinless. I like the application of these, but I think Sinless is an ugly color, and I hate how it looks on my lips. And I think Bronzeberry is an okay color, and I still don't really like how it looks on my lips, and so neither of these are a favorite in my lip category. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like my whole collection videos, let me know down below. I can do more spotlight videos. I'm planning on doing more of a spotlight on just my palettes, where I'll actually swatch a lot of them for you guys. Maybe I can do the same thing with my highlighters, because I have so many highlighters. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so if you want to see more in-depth reviews of each area or category of my collection, let me know down below and I can do that for you guys. And other than that, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you next time. Bye!
Too scared to spell.